Hello, my lovely people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jane. This is the first time that you are seeing this beautiful girl. Thank you so much for stopping by. My return subscriber, from me to you. Thank you. So I saw this video of a Senegal president. Senegal president is the president that made very, very big news when he just became a president it's almost getting to a year or so, sometime or early this year sometime. So they put him in jail. They protested. They wanted to buy the man many times. But his supporters, which is the people are your supporters. The people are the thing that you need, not money. When you have the people, you have everything. So they fought for him. They did everything, and they even threw him in jail, and he came out, and he won election. When God is for you, nobody can be against you. When people are for you, people with money can do all they want to do, but with the time, you will get to be where you want to be. So this guy won the election, and he promised the ECOWAS. He promised the ECOWAS that he would do everything. He will do everything to bring Abraham, then Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger presidents back to ECOWAS. He said he would do everything. So by the time, hey God, by the time he traveled to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and hear them and see what they are doing, he changed his mind. Hey God, so Abraham said, Burkina Faso president, people don't like when I call him Abraham. He's only 35 years old now. I love that name, Abraham. That's why I call him Abraham. I make it personal. I make him personal. I make him mine. I'm hugging him. I make him personal. It's my guy. So when I call him Abraham, please don't be angry. It's my boy. So there's nothing anybody can do. I love this guy. So Abraham said, even though some African leaders don't come out in the open to come and support what they are doing, but he said inside, you know where, they are the people that want to collect both ways. He said behind that they don't want to be seen that they are supporting them. So this guy now, Abraham, Mali, Burkina Faso, all of them, they chased these people out from there. The France, America, France, all of them, they chased them out because they said that they are still, according to them, that they are here to protect the country, that they are here to save them from the terrorism. But Abraham said, no, that's not what they are doing. They are here to make sure that the terrorism don't go, so that they can continue to be there. And you will hear the video yourself. Then this Senegal president has started a small. Senegal president said something that want me to make this video. Senegal president said, I understand when you go to market to buy market, you need to sell it and make gain. I understand that part. But we don't want to be in a place where you buy market. You collect both the gain and the profit. And the people that you buy market, they no go gain anything. I love that. He said, if you're getting market, if we're in a business, everybody, it has to be equal. And I believe and I trust. So you know what this man is doing? The man started reducing the France staying in their country. They said they were from 350. He has reduced it to 100. Okay now. So these African leaders that are bold enough, these young people that are bold enough to challenge all these Western leaders, I am so proud of them. You can't even believe it. I am so proud of them. So Senegal president has finally gradually, he's not even now talking about how he's going to bring them back to ECOWAS. And I think very soon he will leave ECOWAS to join them, because you're not getting anything. You're not learning anything. You're not winning anything from ECOWAS. Why stay there? It's just name. A place where Ahmed Bola Tinubu, it's just name. It's just people that have been in a government that don't want to leave the government, that have been there for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They continue to be there. And That's where you want to be. If you want to continue to be there, people that have fake certificates, people that said where they went to school, they got a certificate and the school said, I didn't give you the certificate. People, that's where you want to. So Senegal president have finally joined the winning team. And very soon, all of them that have been talking from behind, they will come in the open, just like this Senegal president. So, and that is what I wish for our African continent. Let us support our African continent so we can be as great, because we have everything to make our continent great. We have the oil, we have in short, we have everything. Let me not start naming, because I will not name everything. So please, the people that have light and have everything, they are getting it from Africa. So why is it that Africa will not have light, will have everything that the people that are buying from them are having? So you go figure it out. The president of Senegal has finally said it. They say, hey, this is business and we have to gain and you have to gain too. We cannot just be at a loss at all times. Please watch the video. When you finish watching it, please share it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.
It is no secret that since Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger expelled French troops from their bases and began revealing the true activities of these forces within their borders, more African leaders have started to open their eyes to the realities of foreign military presence on their soil. These revelations have sparked a broader awakening among African leaders, who are increasingly recognizing that the Western military bases in their countries may not be working in their best interests. A growing sentiment is emerging that these bases, often justified under the guise of security and counterterrorism, are in fact perpetuating a form of neo-colonial influence and undermining national sovereignty. One of the leaders who has started to follow this path is Senegal's newly elected president, Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Recently, he made visits to Mali and Burkina Faso. In these visits, President Faye engaged in discussions that highlighted a shared vision of African sovereignty and independence from external military influences. This aligns with the sentiments expressed by other regional leaders, such as Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré. In a speech last week, Traoré pointed out that although many African leaders do not openly support the actions taken by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they privately expressed their approval. Now, a few weeks after visiting Burkina Faso, Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye announced a plan to gradually reduce the number of French troops stationed in Senegal. This decision is part of a broader strategy to strengthen Senegal's military autonomy and to assert greater control over its national defense policy. Since taking office, President Faye, along with his Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko, has expressed a clear desire to reassess the French military presence in Senegal. While the country remains open to maintaining a partnership with France, the leadership is keen on pursuing greater strategic independence and reducing reliance on foreign military support. The planned reduction of the French elements in Senegal, EFS, from 350 to approximately 100 soldiers in the coming months represents a significant shift in the defense relations between Senegal and France. This reduction marks a deliberate move towards enhancing Senegal's self-reliance in matters of national security. Unlike the more drastic actions taken by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, which have completely severed military ties with France, Senegal's approach appears more measured. It reflects a nuanced strategy that seeks to balance the desire for sovereignty with the practical benefits of maintaining certain aspects of the French partnership. However, the broader question remains: how long will African nations allow themselves to be manipulated by Western powers under the guise of military assistance and economic aid? The steps taken by leaders like President Faye suggest a growing determination to redefine these relationships on terms that better serve the interests of their nations and their people. As more African leaders consider similar moves, the region may witness a significant reshaping of its geopolitical landscape, characterized by a stronger push for true independence and a departure from the lingering vestiges of colonial influence. Now, upon taking office, Sonko delivered a startling speech in French, which laid bare their stance on the presence of French military bases in Senegal. This speech, which I will translate for clarity, provides a sobering glimpse into the new direction Senegal is poised to take under its current leadership, one that challenges France's long-standing influence in the region.
On n'en débat jamais au Parlement, We do not have the right to speak of our own currency. We never debate in Parliament. We refuse to debate on television. And yet you can debate about the euro on the French National Assembly. And that's why we're debating it, we're imposing it. And I think that in the community context, in any case, the latest developments we have, we are surely moving towards these reforms that we want, which should not be delayed. The other element is security, the presence of foreign military bases in Senegal. This presence of military bases arouses legitimate questions. More than 60 years after our independence, we must ask ourselves the reasons why the French army, for example, always benefits from several military bases in our countries, and the impact of this presence on our national sovereignty and our strategic autonomy. The recent history, I like to take examples of France itself. The recent history of France is very rich in interesting anecdotes on the issues and challenges of the security question. Between 1956 and 1958, you are historians and I am not. I can be wrong on the dates and even on the facts. But between 1956 and 1958, that is, after the Second World War, the Americans had the project of installing on French territory a stock of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. The project later on, the double question of command and missile control, whose deployment was admitted by the French military as a good way to increase the persuasive power of NATO. The French Air Force then judged unacceptable the principle according to which the ballistic missile squadrons would remain under American command. These units had to be under national command as soon as they came to power. General de Gaulle, still him, during the defense meeting of June 7, 1958, warned that these weapons must be under French control, and that France claims the right to give its opinion in the triggering of a possible nuclear war, all conditions judged excessive by the Americans, to the point that an agreement could not be concluded. Second example, in May 1966, General de Gaulle committed France to withdraw from NATO's integrated command, which had 10 military bases in France, and the consequence, we know it. He justified this decision by the will of France to dispose of itself, a will that is incompatible with a defense organization in which it is subordinate. I reiterate here the will of Senegal to dispose of itself, a will that is incompatible with the long-lasting presence of foreign military bases in Senegal. This does not question the defense agreements. We hold defense agreements with many countries: the United States, Great Britain, even China, I believe. Many countries hold defense agreements without it justifying that a third of the Dakar region is occupied today by foreign garrisons. The fourth point is the just gain on our own natural resources. We said it earlier.
Nous l'avons dit plus haut, le modèle que nous voulons.
The model we want is an optimal mobilization of indigenous resources.
Nous disons merci à tous nos partenaires.
We thank all our partners. The European Union is the first in terms of development aid. 51% of development aid comes from the European Union, 20% of the Union itself, and 80% of the bilateral framework. This is a good thing. But if you put in parallel or in contradiction this aid compared to what we lose in the real economic relationship that can be judged through the exploitation of natural resources, through the clauses of the public markets exploited on the country, I can assure you that we lose 10 times more or 20 times more. And this is why our partners must understand that this is the only issue. The delicate and tenuous issue of mass unemployment is that our countries organize themselves in addition to the mobilization of fiscal resources and human rights, in addition to the monetary issue and the economic issue, in addition to the work that must be done on the reduction of the state's lifespan and the fight against corruption that makes us lose a lot. It is also the renegotiation of all the conventions that have been signed in a neoliberal way, and that today, both in terms of legal clauses, financial clauses, and in terms of human rights, are the instruments of our people. I can say here, and you did not know, we were promised that gas will begin to be exploited this year. You know the impact this wealth can have on a people. You go to countries like Qatar, that 30 or 40 years ago only recorded tents in the desert. You see what it has become. And you can assure Senegal that in the next 15 or 20 years, Senegal will not earn a penny from its gas, and it is inadmissible. And that is why our partners, if they are really partners, must encourage, accompany this process of rebalancing the good that everyone must have in the management of this resource. Yes, everyone who has taken risks, who has invested, must win and have a return on investment. But no, we do not accept that they win everything and that we win almost nothing. This is no longer the Africa of 2020. I would like to finish with the last point we said yesterday, you and me.
J'aimerais terminer par le dernier point. Nous disions hier, vous et moi,
that we have a lot of convergence.
énormément de convergence. Et je suis sûr que vous vous retrouvez.
And I am sure that you will find in everything I have said so far.
Je suis moins sûr que vous allez vous retrouver dans ce que je vais dire.
I am less sure that you will find in what I am going to say now.
Mais on ne peut pas avoir une
But we do not want to have a perfect convergence.
Même entre nous Sénégalais.
This is not said anywhere. I am sure that even around us Senegalese, around us, in the context of our PASSEF party, we do not have a perfect convergence. And I would like to finish on a point that relates much more to cultural aspects, on which exchanges must be prudent, at least prudent. On the cultural aspect, which often relates to faith, and which triggers a lot of passions, each people must give themselves the means to respect the other peoples in their beliefs and their convictions. And you also said earlier, I noted it, that the crisis of humanity can only be reduced by the control of citizens over their societies. There is not a single human society. There may be a certain number of universal values, specificities that must be recognized, known, understood, and accepted.
Now, this is not the first time Sonko gives a lecture to France. Before elected into office, Sonko delivered a bold speech to France. In his speech, Sonko did not mince words.